A mental health crisis and a worst-case scenario.
She's got a gun. Drop the gun!
Bodycam video reveals the steps Longview Police took towards a deadly end. A pride flag torn down, and that was just the beginning.
They've targeted us solely off of just trying to live our lives.
How a Renton couple says the persecution on their front porch is escalating. A sudden and savage attack on a shop owner.
His hands were in my eyeballs, actually trying to gouge out my eyes.
What led up to this violence that was ended by brave bystanders? Tonight, in the Spotlight.
The Spotlight brought to you by Beacon Plumbing.
We begin with a story that shows how crucial police body cam video is in providing full transparency to the public in officer-involved shootings. The City of Longview is paying the family of a woman shot and killed by officers $2 million in a settlement to avoid trial. Good evening and thanks for joining us on The Spotlight. I'm David Rose. On New Year's Day, 2024, Caitlin Rose Smith's boyfriend called 911, saying she was having a breakdown and he was trying to keep her from going into the bedroom to get a gun. A warning that the story you're about to see may be upsetting.
Can you help me and send somebody, please? My girlfriend's literally trying to kill herself, and she's freaking out.
You can hear the desperation in the voice of Caitlin Rose Smith's boyfriend. He's trying to keep her from going back in the house to get a gun.
Do you have access to the guns, or are they locked up?
Ow! I had to hide them in my room because of how manic she's being. I'm trying to stop her from going in my house, but she's hurting me.
He begs the operator for first responders to hurry.
Please help.
2919 Columbia Heights.
George 1. George 4 LPD.
He's advising his girlfriend is attempting suicide, attempting to drink chemicals and jam items into her neck.
Swing things at me and get into my house where guns are.
The 911 dispatcher tells officers he's been able to keep her away from the guns.
3 George 4 Longview. Do we know if the firearms are secured?
Negative. The male stated that there are firearms in the house. He was trying to keep her away from the house.
When they arrive, the officers load less lethal beanbag guns and approach the house. But instead of going in and taking control of her, they order her boyfriend to turn her loose.
Down here. Stop. No.
Hey, get away from her. Hey, just get away from her. Get away from her. Come here.
No, she's...
No, get back here.
Come back here right now.
Get back here.
There's a gun in my room. She's going for it right now.
Get back here right now.
Okay.
Is it locked up?
Back out.
No, it's...
Back out.
Please
Back
don't
out.
hurt her.
Come on.
Okay.
Back out.
As soon as he let go of her, she went and grabbed the gun, just as he feared.
Put your hands up.
Go to the frequency. She's got a gun. Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Baby, please don't.
Drop the gun!
Oh, my God.
Shots fired.
Holy
Hey, move up. Move up.
In total, 23 shots were fired. Smith died at the scene. The lawsuit says instead of preventing access to the gun, the officers created the very danger that led to her death.
What we know from public records and from body cam footage is that the officers knew that Caitlin was suicidal. They knew she was trying to get a gun, and somehow they let her back into the house to get the gun anyway.
Mark Lindquist is one of the two attorneys who represented Smith's family.
Watching that video is both heartbreaking and infuriating. What do we have to change in law enforcement so we don't have another Caitlin Smith video like that, Mark?
We're hoping that this settlement, this accountability, results in better and more training for law enforcement on how to deal with people who are having a mental health crisis.
Lindquist says because it didn't go to trial, the settlement did not require increased training or punishment for the officers.
You would hope that any time a city pays out $2 million, they're going to examine what did we do wrong and what can we do better going forward.
Smith was a mother of two.
I was trying to hold her down because I didn't want her to go back in.
Justin,
Yeah.
you helped her as much as you could.
The family wants to see the same thing that I believe the rest of us want to see, which is not just accountability, but changes. They want to see improvements in how law enforcement addresses mental health issues.
The City of Longview responded with this statement, quote, "Following the incident, all involved officers were cleared of wrongdoing through an internal investigation an external review, and an independent assessment by the Cowlitz County Prosecutor's Office. After reviewing the findings of the Lower Columbia Major Crimes Team, the Cowlitz County Prosecutor's Office determined the use of deadly force was justified and declined to file criminal charges. The City of Longview takes this matter very seriously and remains confident in our officers, the training they receive, and the protocols they follow. In response to that statement, Attorney Mark Lindquist pointed out that just because the officers weren't charged with a murder does not mean they did everything right. He says that a city that pays out a $2 million settlement should be investigating what the officers did wrong and what they can do better going forward. Well, now to a traumatic attack in Queen Anne captured on cell phone video. A woman suddenly found herself in the grip of a man trying to gouge out her eyes. This happened outside of a gift shop called Uncommon Cottage, and the victim is the shop's owner. The Spotlight's Jennifer Dowling spoke with her about this vicious assault that came out of nowhere.
Okay, so my favorite things are, this is my backwoods voodoo doll. Stick it back in the body. I love them. My wonderful chimes. This piece I love.
For Uncommon Cottage gift shop owner Jennifer Dawn Singer, selling gifts is its own art form.
It's so beautiful.
This former New Yorker spells her name with an A-H.
It's a New York thing. Jennifer. ER. People from Brooklyn don't really say their ERs.
And throws her support behind local artists.
I've been trying to do all these art events and different things to move my store into a positive direction.
She'd set up a pop-up tent outside to showcase local talent when cell phone video captured the dark turn of events.
We started to see someone coming down Queen Anne Avenue, acting crazy, screaming erratically, trying to attack cars and windows, like getting into people's vehicles.
He's accused of then setting his sights on their tent, swearing as he approached.
The moment that I said that this was my shop, that's when he turned all of his menace to me.
The video of what happens next is hard for her to watch.
The first time I actually watched it, I actually screamed out loud.
First, he threatens her.
He said to me that he was going to gouge out my eyes. I turn around. His hands were in my eyeballs, actually trying to gouge out my eyes.
She turns away, hoping to defuse the situation, and that's when he wraps his hands around her head.
I pushed him away the first time, and then he doubled down on me. He pushed his fingers actually into and trying to to gut out my eyes.
You don't attack people like that.
Witnesses pulled him off of her, including an artist who was bit on the hand. They held him until police arrived. Friends started a fundraiser to help her reopen and continue her work towards becoming an artist co-op and collective. She's also staying positive.
You can't have a summer without Jax.
Thanking those who showed uncommon bravery to save her and the Uncommon Cottage.
I'm really just beyond grateful, let's put it that way. If he had given the chance, he would have killed me. I really feel that.
For the Spotlight, I'm Jennifer Dowling.
The suspect's name is Jibri Kambui. Charges are pending in this case, but he's already charged with second-degree assault in a case that happened that very same day. Prosecutors say he beat his girlfriend with a glass bottle during a mental health episode after the two of them ate mushroom gummies. He's being held in jail on $200,000 bail. If you'd like to support the Uncommon Cottage, we have a link to the GoFundMe in the online version of this story on fox13seattle.com. Just click on the Spotlight section under the More tab. The U.S. Marshals Service is asking for your help to find this fugitive. His name is Elijah Hilton. He's wanted for the murder of Ty Jenkins. Hilton is accused of shooting and killing Jenkins in the parking garage of Tacoma's Emerald Queen Casino back in January of 2020. If you have information on his whereabouts, submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. If you spot him, call 911. He should be considered armed and dangerous. Do not approach him. A pride flag repeatedly ripped down. A Renton couple says they've suffered homophobic harassment for years, and it's gotten so bad, they're searching for a new home. The Spotlight's Nia Wong reported on their situation earlier this month, and then just days later, their home was targeted again, twice in one night.
We show you years of harassment one Renton couple says keeps happening at their own home.
They've targeted us solely off of just trying to live our lives.
Fernando Vega is once again speaking to Fox 13 about more harassment he, his husband, and sister faced just days after we aired our report with him.
I feel it's actually just, getting progressively worse.
Vega says he and his family were out for dinner when masked people tried to rip off his pride flag from his back porch once more.
Fortunately, it was secure enough to where they were not successful.
This was around 11 p.m., but Vega says a few hours later.
It was around 2 a.m. when we heard a bunch of glass breaking.
A disgusting mess is sprayed at Vega's front door. Here's ring cam footage from around the corner.
It seemed like it was intentionally done with specifically pungent foods, something that would leave a stench.
Vega believes it's the same group of teens harassing him and his family.
I do think that there need to be legal consequences to put this to an end.
Renton police officers returned to the Vega home to try and identify the suspects. The agency says information has been passed along to school resource officers, and once these suspects have been identified, there's probable cause for malicious mischief 3 and hate crime.
They are aware of their actions, and we would like to pursue charges.
While Vega says he's sad to leave his good neighbors behind, he and his family are now desperate more than ever to find a new home where they'll be free to be themselves.
Most of the neighborhood is supportive, but you will have a couple rotten apples that will make it difficult to be able to live in peace.
For the Spotlight, I'm Nia Wong.
The couple says they don't currently have the money to afford a new deposit, first and last month's rent, along with the other costs of moving. But they are getting some help from the community with a GoFundMe raising more than $1,500 so far. If you'd like to help them, you can find this fund in the story in the Spotlight section on fox13seattle.com.
Put that down, please.
Put your chainsaw down. Put that down.
Next in the Spotlight, a man refuses to put down his chainsaw and then retreats into a pond. See how Pierce County Sheriff's deputies got creative to end this soggy standoff. And straight ahead, jewelry thieves getting up close and personal. This crime in Kent is a call for caution the next time a stranger approaches you. Kent police are asking you to be extra vigilant if a stranger approaches you so you can keep yourself from getting robbed. Surveillance video from Kent's East Hill neighborhood shows that suspect grab a man in a hug to steal his jewelry. There's a woman with the suspect that you can see approach the two. The victim tried to get his jewelry back, but the suspect broke away, so he follows them as they run off to a vehicle. The victim catches up, but then he gets dragged away down the street. So take another look at the couple who stole his jewelry. If you can tell Kent police who they are, Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound will pay you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Submit an anonymous tip through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone. And if a stranger approaches you and tries to be nice or shake your hand or tries to hug you, create some distance. Get away from them. If they continue to harass you, call 911.
Get out of the water.
Bodycam video capturing the moment Pierce County Sheriff's deputies used a lasso to pull a man out of a pond. This was not a rescue. It was the end of a standoff. That suspect was arrested for felony harassment after deputies say he threatened his family with a chainsaw. He was involuntarily committed to a hospital, though, rather than taken to jail because the family did not want to press charges. The Spotlight's A.J. Genevieve takes a closer look at the moment deputies cornered him in the pond.
Put your chainsaw down. Put that down.
One of the males was chasing his father with a chainsaw, so not every day that you see a deputy lasso a suspect.
The situation seems funny, like a clip from a Western, but it could have gone much worse. Pierce County deputies arrived at this call in Roy for a man with a chainsaw threatening his parents. Deputies are ready to act, arming less than lethal rounds to catch the suspect, loading 40mm beanbags into a shotgun.
Hey, you know what this is? It's a beanbag gun. It's going to hurt when I shoot you with it.
While a 32-year-old man is in a defensive position in a pond with a weapon. But thinking outside the box, Pierce County Sheriff's deputies brought a safe end to this dangerous situation. I'm sure there's not anything in the police academy that's like, hey, if you're in a situation, bust out your lasso, cowboy.
No, they definitely don't teach us how to use lassos in the police academy. And I think what's great about Pierce County is we can kind of pick and choose what kind of tools and instruments we want to carry inside of our car as long as they're approved. And this particular deputy works out in our mountain detachment and has had to deal with a lot of animals, like large animals.
This 40-minute standoff ended with no one hurt.
Come on.
and the suspect in cuffs to get help. But Deputy Carly Capetto with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office tells me what happened highlights a continuing issue with mental health.
But a lot of these families, their child will go to the hospital and receive a day or two of services and be released back. There's not a long-term solution for some of these people that are suffering from significant mental health illnesses. And a lot of these mental health illnesses only progress and get worse. And we need to come up with a solution as a society, or our response is going to be the continued response where we have to problem solve through these horrific situations and attempt to get everything under control in a safe manner just to have them come back and repeat.
For the Spotlight, I'm AJ Janavel.
There's a new effort in King County to support those impacted by violent crimes. It's a collaboration bringing together county leaders, local groups, and the parents of children who were murdered. The Spotlight Shira Matsuzawa shows us a first-of-its-kind summit.
Gathered in a room, law enforcement, judges, lawmakers, survivors, and advocates shared what it's like to lose a loved one and what more needs to be done.
When I lost my son in 2014, when he was murdered, there was no support groups out there for me. There were support groups for people who have lost their children to sickness.
Solana Young and Alicia Dasa both lost their sons. They now co-lead the Parents of Murdered Children, and we're at the summit as not only mothers, but also as advocates for survivors to have more funding and support.
People see legislators, they see lobbyists, they see folks in court. They very rarely see the survivors.
Supporting survivors is so incredibly important, and then supporting their system that supports them is equally as important.
Kate Garby is the Chief Executive Officer at the King County Sexual Assault Resource Center. She says if they were fully supported and funded, they would be able to support survivors from the moment they called 911.
None of us chose to be here. None of us chose to be a survivor. What we can choose is what we do with the rest of our lives, but we need support.
It's really powerful listening to people who have been through violent crime themselves, who have lost loved ones, and then hearing about how the system really doesn't serve their needs.
Councilmember Claudia Balducci says she walked away with some strong messages on how we need to think about the future of our criminal legal system and how policymakers can step in.
Listening to these stories, it just brings it home, right? It's so true that could be any one of us. It's, and we should think that way.
For the Spotlight, I'm Shira Matsuzawa.
I think it's really important that the kids see us in a different light. I'm not wearing my uniform. I'm not wearing a badge. I'm just a guy.
Next to the Spotlight, off-duty and still making a difference. How some Everett police officers came to the rescue of a school camping trip in crisis. It doesn't take an emergency for first responders to serve their community. Here's an example in Everett. A fifth-grade camping trip was on the brink of being canceled. But as the Spotlight's Frankie Thompson shows us, some Everett police officers stepped in to save the day.
I feel like there might be something in there.
Letting nature be their teacher. These fifth graders have taken their classroom outdoors.
The food is really good. Overall, I'm just glad to be here with my friends. I'm glad that most of them got to come.
It's a breath of fresh air at Camp Colloqua in Stanwood, much different from the halls of Olivia Park Elementary School in South Everett, a neighborhood that's high in crime.
Camp provides them with a lot of unique experiences that a lot of these kids have never had and are kind of hard to get normally.
They're here camping overnight as part of the school's 3-day outdoor education program.
It is the talk of fifth grade from the time they get to school until now.
Oh, are you happy now?
It's an experience that I wish every single kid in the entire world could get.
The school almost could not get this experience. Counselor Stacy Goody says 2024 was their first time attending camp, and they did not have enough male chaperones to meet the required student-to-adult ratio.
Male chaperones have been very challenging. So last year we were very close, up until the day before we left, very close to not being able to come.
In a panic, the school reached out to Everett Police Department, and Chief John DeRoos answered their call for chaperone help. But this year, the school ran into the same problem. On the brink of canceling once again, this time 4 Everett officers stepped in, one of them bringing his own Colloqua stories.
all the kids deserve a chance to go to Camp Colloquo. I think it was a blast. I have great memories from it, and once I heard that they were gonna have to cancel it, I thought, well, if I can help prevent that, then let's do it.
I think it was really nice of them, even like with their own time and all that, to come over here and help us so that we would get to have this experience as 5th graders.
It's not just the experience these officers are helping these kids have by being their chaperone. It's also a chance for youth to see another side of their local law enforcement.
I think it's really important that the kids see us in a different light. You know, I'm not wearing my uniform. I'm not wearing a badge. You know, I'm just a guy. You know, the fact that we stepped up and did something off duty, you know, shows that we want to be part of our community, not only behind the badge, but, you know, within the community to help out too. So
helping them expand their minds beyond the classroom, learning new life lessons in nature.
Very, very thankful for Everett PD because we wouldn't be here without them. We would have had to cancel.
For the Spotlight, I'm Frankie Thompson.
Well done. Well, finally, a friendly reminder from Washington State Patrol. You have to follow the rules of HOV lanes, and no, fake skeletons do not count as passengers. Check out these pictures posted by Trooper Rick Johnson. An HOV violator was pulled over on I-5 and Shoreline with a skeleton in the back seat, wearing a paper crown and a T-shirt that reads, "Fake Taxi." Trooper Johnson says the driver claims she accidentally left her Halloween decorations up. The fine for a first-time HOV lane violation is $186. I know the traffic is terrible, but you just got to bear with it. That does it for us tonight on The Spotlight. Until next time, I'm David Rose. Please stay safe.